From Star Trek to Game of Thrones to the Dune films, some of the characters we see on screen speak in tongues that, well, don't exist among us Earthlings. So just where do those languages come from? We've asked David Pogue to translate.
Used to be, characters in movies somehow all spoke modern English, even in ancient Egypt.
You will kneel.
I will what?
On your knees.
Or other planets.
What do? We die.
Today, viewers are more sophisticated. We can handle a few subtitles in Game of Thrones. Or Avatar. Or Oscar Best Picture nominee, Dune Part 2. All of those actors are speaking made-up languages, but don't call them fake languages.
It's everything a language is. It's got a sound system, it's got regular patterns that it follows, it's got a grammar in place, and it's just that we're the ones making the decision.
These days, when Hollywood needs languages that don't exist, the first people they call are David and Jessie Peterson. They married in 2023, but they'd both been language nerds for a very long time.
We both were language creators just for fun, long before we, ever did anything for professional work.
In 2009, when HBO was preparing its Game of Thrones TV show, the producers approached a language creators club that David had co-founded and announced a Dothraki language contest.
I beefed it up and produced just over 300 pages of material.
You won?
Yeah, I did.
Aha! And was the prize you get to make the language for the movie?
Yeah, pretty much.
The other prize was seeing his language mastered by actors like Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke.
Some seasons I found it very, very, very difficult, and other seasons they'd just throw some stuff in there at the last minute, and you're like, guys, it takes me weeks to learn the fake language.
After Game of Thrones, David became Hollywood's most coveted creator of constructed languages.
Should we make that move, or should we bring the W down and make it into a consonant cluster?
These days, he and Jessie create languages together, including Chekhovsa from the Dune movies.
Girashi, Divaraho, Etemi.
Roreshan, Dimadai, Vandraha.
Characterize Chekhovska. What's the sound?
I would say it's a head initial lightly inflectional language.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, there you go.
This is a really, nerdy skill.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man.
It is, yes.
For each language, they create a sort of grammar Bible.
This would be an example of how cases work.
A linguistics professor would know exactly what you're doing here.
Absolutely.
They also prepare a script with 4 versions of each line. This one is from Dune Part 2. So this is what the actor gets.
Right, and he says green paradise, which in the language comes out as Shid Gimshari.
So what the screenwriter wrote